Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to the patch notes for patch 6.11. This is the longer-awaited Ultimate-related patch for Dragonsong Ultimate. That's not to say that's the only thing in the patch, however, it is the main thing, the main piece of content. The other things that are in this patch are mostly fixes, balance changes, and battle changes. So without further ado, let's look at some of this. Remember, obviously, just as a reminder here, that a lot of stuff such as the custom deliveries, Arcasadora, Tribal Quests, Hildebrand, that's all in 6.15, and there's also the data center travel system in 6.18. So we still have a lot from the 6.1 series over the coming month, but for now, this is 6.11. So as you can see, battle system changes. There's not too many changes, so let's go through these. They're mostly potency changes. At level 90, as you can see here, Gunbreaker, Gnashing Fang potency is up to 380 from 360. Savage Claw 460 from 440. Wicked Talon 540 from 520. Jugular Rip 180 has gone all the way up to 200. Abdomen Tear is at 240 from 220, and Eye Gouge up to 280 potency from 260. A lot of people actually said that Gunbreaker needs to be brought up, and I think that's probably the most that they can address in a small patch like this anyway. Dragoon Jump. When Jump changes to Mirage Dive, there will now be a small input delay to prevent the unintended execution of Mirage Dive. So that's nice to see. And High Jump, when high Jump changes to Mirage Dive, there's also that small delay for your unintended execution of Mirage Dive to prevent that. Very nice little quality of life changes. Samurai then, midair, potency increased to 640 from 600. Keishi Setsugeka 640 from 600, and Shoha potency 520 from 500. In average, I think Samurai has lost quite a bit of DPS in the last patch, so hopefully these potency changes sort of bring that up to where it needs to be, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be where people want it to be unless we get a major patch in the future to address major job changes to Samurai. Machinist then, Wildfire, we have potency increase for the weapon skill to 220 from 200, just a nice little 20 potency increase. All in all, that's all of the job changes for PvE that you need to know about. There might be some unlisted things here and fixes, but that's pretty much that. So Dragonsong's Reprise Ultimate has been added to the game. Of course, this is the new Ultimate. Of course, this does require you to complete Asphodelos, the 4th circle on Savage, and of course you can go to the Wandering Minstrel in Old Charlian as of today onwards to actually pick up your quest if you've done that already and unlock it. Yeah, it is very hard content. My honestly best wishes go out to anybody who's capable of obviously doing that today. I would love to do that myself one day if I manage to get a team together, but for now, like everyone else, I think I will be glued to Twitch and watching wonderful people. I'll leave a link in the description of this video to a page where you can see all of the people that have made it known that they're streaming their progress. So I thought that would be a nice thing to do. So yeah, awesome. Much love, and obviously shout outs to Frosty TV. PvP changes then. So these are the things that, you know, I'm not going to dwell on too much, but there are changes. So Paladin, Holy Sheltron, we've got the reduction damage taken from 10% to 20%. And Atonement has its potency increased to 8,000 from 6,000, so a bit of a boost there for Paladin. Warrior then, which is very interesting, a little bit of a nerf to Bloodwetting in PvP. Damage converted into health has been reduced from 100% to 75%. The barrier strength has also been reduced from 20 to 10% of maximum HP. A lot of people were saying Warrior's quite dominating. I don't necessarily think this is the reason why, but it is a little bit of a nerf, so we'll have to see how that plays. Dark Knight saw some buffs. Potency to Shadowbringer's been increased to 6,000 from its previous 4,000. The Blackest Night recast time reduced from 20 to 15 seconds, so maybe not what we wanted to see from Dark Knight in PvP in terms of changes, but it's a start. Gunbreaker, this is real interesting because a lot of people don't play Gunbreaker at the moment. It doesn't seem to fit as well as the other tanks at the moment, I think it's fair to say. So they've had changes, potency mostly. Double Down, potency increased to 12,000 from 10,000. Rough Divide, the additional effect of increases movement speed has been added. So that's interesting. So when you press Rough Divide, you can move faster. Draw and Junction, the effect, this status effect, Junction Tank, Junction DPS, and Junction Healer no longer expire upon being incapacitated. So that's pretty big. Relentless Rush potency has been increased to 4,000 from 3,000, and the increase to target's damage taken has been changed from 3% to 4%. Nebula effect durations now 10 seconds from 6, and Aurora is 8,000 potency from 6,000. Will it change how many people play Gunbreaker? Actually, it might. It might. Monk then, Enlightenment, 12,000 potency. Additional damage from pressure point has been increased from 8,000 to 12,000. So that's a flat number. Sorry about that, not potency. Ninja Bunshin effect duration has been increased from 15 to 30 seconds. Interesting. Samurai then, Hisatsu Shiten, the reduction to damage taken has been changed from 50% to 25%. Oof, interesting. And Minucci, I can't speak, stun duration's been reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. They're still going to destroy you with their limit break, obviously, but yeah, their reduction in damage taken is down to 25%. Very interesting. I might be able to kill them a little bit easily, more easily now. Reaper, Arcane Crest, barrier strength's been increased from a heal potency of 8,000 to 12,000. The cure potency from Crest of Time returned effect has been increased from 4 to 6,000. Interesting. And Tenebrae Lemurum, the time required to fill the limit gauge to maximum has been reduced. So you're going to have a much quicker Reaper limit break. That's quite scary, but interesting. Bard then, Final Fantasia, increase the damage dealt for nearby party members been changed from 5 to 10%. My goodness, so they're really trying to give Bard that support buff in PvP. Very nice. Machinist then, Scattergun, potency increase from 4 to 6,000. And Ether Mortar, barrier strength's been increased from a heal potency of 2,000 to 4,000. If Machinist wasn't already a top pick in PvP, it certainly will be now with the potency changes of 2,000 to Scattergun and that heal potency to 4,000. That's double. Incredible. Dancer then, Starfall Dance, potency to 10,000 from 8. Honing Dance, 3,000 from 2. Curing Waltz, recast time reduced to 20 seconds down from 30, and Saber Dance has a 10,000 potency now up from 8. These are quite large potency buffs for Dancer, so I'm sure they'll be even more painful to go against. Black Mage then, fire potency to 4,000 from 3,000, Blizzard the same, up to 4,000. Nightwing, potency of additional damage dealt to enemies under the effect of sleep, has been increased from 6 to 8,000. Interesting. That's a huge buff. Super Flare, targets within the radius of the attack will now be afflicted with the effects of this action, even when the caster does not have a direct line of sight. Yikes, that's huge. Flare, potency has been increased from 6 to 8,000. Freeze, the same potency increased to 8,000. And Soul Resonance, the effect duration of Polyglot has been increased from 30 to 60 seconds. Quite strong buffs there for Black Mage. We're coming towards the end of these PvP changes. Red Mage, enhanced riposte. So that's damage over time potency while under the effect of Black Shift has been reduced from 4 to 3,000. The same nerf to that potency of damage over time from Enchanted Zwechow is also down to 3,000 from 4,000, and enhanced redoublement is down to 3,000 from 400 damage over time potency. Wow, interesting. That's quite a significant set of nerfs. Resolution, silence duration while under the effect of White Shift has been reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. Interesting. So a little bit of a nerf there across the board to Red Mage. We'll see how that plays, though. White Mage, Afflatus Misery, potency has been reduced from 12,000 to 10,000. That's quite significant. 2,000, every little helps. White Mages are very strong at the moment. Afflatus Purgation, the stun duration has been reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. Okay, so you're not going to be stunned forever. basically, as it felt. But you're still going to be pretty much CC'd when everything lines up with a white mage. Scholar, Adloquium, the effect duration of damage increase has been changed from 10 to 15 seconds. That's nice. And Biolysis, effect duration reduced damage dealt has been changed from 10 to 15 seconds. So Scholar's got some love. Very nice. And finally, Astrologian is the last of the jobs to be mentioned here. Macrocosmos, the potency has been increased from 8 to 12,000. So some nice love for the other healers other than White Mage, and some well-deserved nerfs there. Interesting. There are new items added. As you can see, a lot of this stuff gets updated later after the patch has been out for a while. New achievement and titles and new music, obviously, because there's a new ultimate. This is the bit, though, that's really interesting to me before we get down to the brass tacks of the known issues, but resolved issues. So you'll be pleased to know they've fixed a lot of issues that I personally had with this patch previously. So it says the following issues have been addressed. So there was an issue wherein players could not advance the healer role quest a new battleground under certain conditions. So apparently that was bugged, so that fixes that. In PvP, the Monk PvP action Enlightenment, wherein enemies afflicted with the pressure point status effect did not take additional damage from a monk who applied it. Nice. That's a nice bug fix. Multiple bards in a party in PvE action Wanderer's Minuet would change to pitch perfect when another bard in the party executed Wanderer's Minuet. So that's been fixed now, so that wasn't intended before people, think it was. An issue wherein execution of the bard PvP action Powerful Shot rendered the user unable to run under certain conditions on PS4. Wow, that was quite strong then, because there's still a lot of PlayStation 4 players. I can imagine that'd be quite annoying. An issue wherein the description of a Machinist PvE action Queen Overdrive was incorrect, so tooltip changes. Machinist PvP action Wildfire countered the damage over time effect of Bioblaster as attack actions required for detonation. Oh, I see. Oh, right. So that addresses some of the confusion I have in PvP then. Very nice for a Machinist. Also in Machinist PvP action, Wildfire dealt more damage than intended. It did feel like Wildfire was just like the detonation button. You just annihilate somebody. An issue during Crystalline Conflict matches wherein certain ground-targeted actions were cancelled under the effect of the White Mage PvP action Miracle of Nature. Interesting. I didn't know about that one. This is the most important one of all, though. An issue wherein the White Mage PvP action Cure 2 had no recast time under certain conditions. I talked about this on the stream as well. I said it was the main thing that I really didn't like about ranked PvP at the moment, well, PvP in general, is that you could cast Cure 2, and then as the second cast of Cure 2 was going out, because you get limited to 2 casts of that heal, if you cancel the second one halfway through or as soon as you start casting it, it would bug out and reset it back to 2 heals, which essentially gave White Mage the advantage of being the only healer in PvP that could infinitely cure and heal, which made them very strong on top of their limit break as well as, their misery as well. It was very, very strong, and this has addressed that issue. White Mage is still going to be very strong without this, but at least their healing will be kind of on par with where it needs to be. Next then, an issue wherein the Conjurer / White Mage PvE action Aero 2 base potency and damage over time potency was set higher than intended. I wasn't aware of this, but apparently that's been put where it needs to be now. It was too strong before. Crystalline Conflict matches wherein the Cardia and Cardion effects from Sage, obviously, in the PvP action Cardia, were dispelled when incapacitated. I did notice this. It was annoying. It's nice to see they fixed that. PvP action Guard, together with other damage-reducing actions, prevented all incoming damage. Yeah, I can imagine that was irritating. I didn't see that personally either. Frontline issue, campaigns wherein the increased movement speed effect on certain actions could also be applied when riding a mount. Really? So you could I didn't know this. So there was certain situations where you could have a movement speed increase on a mount. That would be quite interesting, especially for Shatter in Siege. Yeah. An issue wherein the Gunbreaker, Dancer, Reaper, and Sage weapons newly added to the trial, the Minstrel's Ballad, Thordan's Reign, could not be purchased in exchange for Heaven's Ward Helm Fragments. So at least now you can presumably as of this patch. I wasn't aware of that personally. I was just getting the fragments another way entirely. An issue wherein the secondary attributes of Pantheon gear obtained from the Alliance raid Aglaya were incorrect. Yeah, for people still wanting to get that item level gear, maybe for ults or something, or maybe that's what you want to wear, the stats were incorrect, and they fixed those so they won't be quite as weird. They were undertuned, massively undertuned, and some stats were missing, if I can recall correctly. So they should display proper attributes now on the gear. They're not as bad as we thought. An issue wherein the secondary attributes of augmented classical gear obtained in exchange for crafted eye-level 580 gear were incorrect. Nice to see. There's a few bugs here. There was also dyeing the headgear replica Dreadworm Barbet of Maiming had no effect on its colouring. Okay, that's a very interesting change. Well, a bug to begin with. Playing as Viera Male, wherein the visor command could not be used when equipping endless summer glasses, so that's been fixed. Again, I don't play Male Viera, but I'm sure there are plenty of you who are happy that that's been fixed. And finally, an issue wherein using the market board, wherein enabling the unobtained unregistered only filter, purchase an item, and then view the listing for said item displayed an incorrect number of items for sale. Yeah, I had this as well, where I basically purchased an item, quite a rare item, and then when I refreshed it, it said that that it was like 98 of them listed, and then you click on it and there'd be 0 listed. Yes, and then you'd have to close the market board to fix it. I'm glad that's been fixed. I don't know what that is. Probably some filter-based issue in the game. And finally then, the actual current known issues. An issue wherein progressing through the Myths of the Realm quest series, wherein the symbols representing Menfina and Halani in the Omphalos are incorrect. Okay, cool. An issue when viewing the description of a Machinist PvP action Bishop Auto Turret, wherein the listed barrier potency is incorrect. This is an issue only in description, they say, and the action functions as intended. So, known tooltip issue. I'm sure there's going to be lots of other issues that get added to this list. And the new items, if you're interested, are the Ultimate Weapon of the Heavens. Yes, they're 605 item level. Yes, and you get your Dragon Song token. I think, was it Heaven's Legend or something like that the title is? I can't remember what somebody told me. But there we go. That's the 6.11 fixes and additions. Like I say, quite short, but I wanted to go through the PvP changes and PvE changes. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting. I'm going to spend a lot more time looking at the PvP changes as we go into the future, because PvP is now something that I actively, get involved in myself, whereas before I didn't. So, if there are PvP changes, instead of just skipping them in the future, I will probably have a good look at them. All right, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. And for those of you who are tackling the Dragon Song War Ultimate, I wish you the very best. Check out the description for a list of lovely people who are streaming it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.